everybody, and welcome back to another episode of the Up Supercast Game Club. My name is Brandon, and I am your host. And joining me today, I have Noah.
GREGG RULZ OK.
And I got Ilse.
Welcome to Ghosty Stuff. I'm May, and I saw ghosts. And this is Angus, who doesn't believe in me.
So you guys know, I was going, if you didn't say it, I was going to say GREGG RULZ OK. That was my plan. But I also...
Was it going to be that, or was it going to be eels?
I was kind of hoping you guys would cooperate, and one of you guys would be like, crimes. Another one was going to be like, crime.
I was hoping that, but I don't know. I wasn't sure if someone's going to catch on.
But this week, we played Night in the Woods. And Ills, you picked this game.
I did.
So Night in the Woods, quick recap of it, is basically a adventure game.
Yep.
And it was developed by Infinite Fall, published by Finji, and it was released on February 21st, 2017, originally for the PC, originally for the PlayStation 4. Or I think PC and PlayStation 4 originally. Yeah,
it's on PC. I played it on
PC and PS4 originally was released. This game is an indie game, Infinite Fall indie developers, and it was actually a Kickstarter game.
We did it again.
Crowdfunding, baby. It made over 400% of its original $50,000 funding goal. So people really liked the idea of this game. So it ended up finally coming out in 2017 and was also eventually released on later that year on Xbox One, and in 2018 was released on the Nintendo Switch. So it's on everything, even iOS now. It's on. No, there was going to be an iOS version, but it has not come out. But it's on everything that matters. Sorry, mobile game fans. I know you're gonna click off now. I said that. But Ills, you picked this game, so why don't you tell me and everybody why this was the game you decided for us to play this time around?
Sure. I mean, I just heard very, very good things about the story in this game. One of the YouTubers I watch, H Bomber guy, he's pretty famous. He likes this game a lot, so I just said we should check it out.
Nice. I was kind of originally attracted to this game when I first saw the trailer for it, because I just liked the art style.
The art style is an eye catcher.
First thing that jumped out to me, I was like, "Oh, that looks really cool." And I knew nothing about this game when I first originally started playing it, other than the first trailer I saw, and I really liked the art style. I didn't really know what kind of game it was gonna be. From the original trailers, I thought maybe a platformer with some story elements, but it's more just a story adventure game, and much less of a platformer.
Yep.
It's
very little platforming.
Yeah. So it is
meaningful
2D
platforming.
Yeah, meaningful for sure. There's no levels or anything like that. It's very much an adventure game. So in this game you play as May Borowski, and she's a cat. You play as a cat. Now all the characters in this game are anthropomorphic or zoomorphic animals, right? So they're all bodies of humans, but they're all animals. And it's not just cats.
Cat girl.
She's a little cat girl. There's all sorts of different animals, but May herself, she's a 20-year-old college dropout who decided that she just didn't want to, she wasn't doing what she wanted to do. She went back to her old hometown of Possum Springs, and that's where the game basically starts you off as. And along the way she tries to just kind of go back to her old life that she had before she left, for college. And she finds out that some things have stayed the same, but also lots changed since she's been gone for a couple of years. And all this kind of plays out through storytelling. with the characters and writing, and it's, like we said, very much an adventure game. You have a couple of friends that you hang out with a lot. Greg, B, and Angus. And like I say right off the bat, I mean, the strongest thing in this game, absolutely by far, I mean, the art style pops out, but even better than that is the writing. Which, I mean, super important for an adventure game to have good writing, obviously. But, I mean, this game kills it with the writing, and the humor, I think, is very, very good and very well done. And the characters themselves are super well written, and they all have great personalities.
Yeah, I mean, they're absolutely the star of the show. I mean, every single character in this game I liked or was interested in some way. Like Greg, like the main cast, Greg, May, B, and Angus. They all have great personalities, great backstories. They're all passionate about things. They all have tragedy in their lives. Like you can't help but like care about them. They're amazing.
Yeah, they are good, and like I like how May she's the main character that you play as, and honestly, she's not always super likable as a main character.
No, she's kind of a jerk.
She is kind of a jerk. There's times where like I'm playing it and I'm like, I don't want to do this. You know what she's doing. Like there's a part. Just quick example. We're not really going to talk about spoilers, but we'll talk about like little things here and there. We'll have a different spoiler section. So, but there's a part where you're in a mall and she wants you to steal. She's like, "Hey, let's steal," and I'm like, "No, let's not steal. I'm not stealing." But you don't have a choice really, and that's just who May is. You know, she's like, "Let's go steal from that store," and I'm like, "What the fuck?" I'm like, "Fuck you."
Yeah, she constantly wants to do crimes.
She's very much into crimes, and you find that out through, and she even has like her own, the way people react to her and talk to her, like, "Oh, you're back." Like you find out like how she used to be, and she was very much like, she's not like a bad kid, but she's a troublemaker,
Yeah, she's just a bit wild. Her and Greg.
Yeah, they liked getting into trouble and causing misfit. But that's that. I thought it was cool for a main character just to not be the goody two shoes. I'm a super likable, vanilla ass kind of person. She's kind of a jerk sometimes and selfish, and but she also does care about the people around her, and when she does make mistakes, she does feel bad about it. So she's not completely hateable.
Yeah, I mean, they all care about each other a lot, and you could tell that like almost immediately. Like every interaction they have and every argument they have, it's all like very, very good because they care about each other. They're all that.
Yeah. One of my favorite things is her and Greg, who they're best friends, and the way they interact with each other. How they'll be like, "Oh, hey, too bad you didn't get hit by a car last night." Or like, "Too bad you didn't drown and die." And they're just, it just feels really real, like the way, it's just, it doesn't feel forced. It feels like a real conversation between these characters, and their personalities shine. It's great.
Yeah, and I especially love how she gets on B's nerves, like, constantly.
All the time, yeah.
Because B has, like, a real job and has a lot of fucking problems, always forced to do shit, and she doesn't have any responsibilities, and she's, kind of ditzy that way. And she, B kind of constantly talks to her about it, gets mad at her for it.
Yeah, because May's kind of immature.
Yeah, I mean, she escaped back to her hometown because she wasn't ready.
She dropped out.
Yeah.
Yeah, and in the meantime, they've all her friends have had to, pick up jobs and work full time, and they have to pay rent, and they have all these different things. They basically become adults while she was gone, and she was in college and still being a little immature, and she just drops out and says, "I don't want to do this anymore. Let me go back to how things were." And she finds out that she can't just go back to how things were because things change.
Right.
Yeah. And it's not just the characters, like just going back and like seeing her friends and family and how things change. It's like the game itself, the story, it touches upon like social commentary of like middle America and how the town itself is struggling, and businesses are getting, closing, and we have these corporate businesses that are coming in and stuff, and it's not, I guess it's not the first game that's ever, touched upon that, but it still is an important thing, and it feels real as well, it feels like a real town, just based on the town people and what's going on in the town.
Yeah, I mean, the town used to be a mining town. They used to have, a lot more people around, and it's all kind of going to shit. You can feel that, like, not only in the way the town looks, because there's a ton of broken buildings, there's a flooded tramway, there's sinkholes popping up all over the place, but also in the conversations you have with all the townspeople. Like, everybody's stressed out about, not having enough money, not having a good paying job, losing their job, stuff like that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and it's cool that you get to see those conversations, like, play out if you talk to the side characters and stuff throughout the town.
Yeah.
There's even, like, the people who stand outside the bar, and they're just like, go sports
Smelters.
team. Yeah.
Smelters.
The Smelters, yeah. They're like, yeah, go Smelters. And there's one point where the guy's just like, man, life kind of sucks, but I guess go Smelters, right? Like, he's just,
It goes.
that's all he's got,
Yep.
And it feels very real, a real depiction of middle America sometimes, and how shitty sometimes it can be. And I liked that part of the game,
Yeah, it felt like realistic, which is a little bit strange to say in such a colorful, cartoony game. But like, they're dealing with real shit. And, like, they have realistic political beliefs and doubts about their lives.
Mm-hmm.
It's pretty cool.
Yeah, definitely did like that. Who out of the main cast, who would you say, what character did you like the most, or like what character did you connect with the most, like that you at least, because they all have like their own goals, and they're all very fleshed out characters, so I wasn't sure if like one of them, like I guess doesn't have to be one of the main cast, but I think they're the ones that were written the best. So
no, yeah, I like them all so much, but like, I guess my favorite would be Angus. If I had to choose, maybe B, but between those two, definitely.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, mine would be B, but I like Greg a lot too.
Greg is cool. I think he's more he's too crazy and too rambunctious for me to really connect with.
Yeah,
I do like Greg more because he's more laid back and just seems cool.
Yeah, I generally like him, and I like that he's good for Angus, but like, he's wild as fuck. He's like, he doesn't give a shit about like his job at all. He just fucks around all day, basically.
Yeah, fucks around at his job. I'm gonna leave early, and like, hey, let's play a game where we try to fucking stab each other in the hand. Like, he's wild. Yeah, I don't know if I'd. Yeah, smashing light. I don't know if I'd want to hang out with Greg if Greg was a real person. But like, I would want to hang out with B because she seems very responsible and chill, and I like Angus as well. Angus and Greg complement each other well. They're they're dating, and they're both I like how it goes into how they met, and like the story of like just how much they mean to each other, because they both talk to you at separate points throughout the game when the other one's not around, and they feel, they go through like different struggles about how their relationship is, but at the end of the day they both know like they're like very good for each other, and I thought that was really cool.
Yeah, they're always like very affectionate. They're very nice. Like, Angus is like one of the nicest people ever, apparently, because he's just nice to everybody. Mm-hmm. Yeah, he's just super cool. Yeah, they're both super cool. Yeah,
they both feel like they saved each other.
I think they say as much. Yeah.
Yeah. And so I think Angus was the coolest. And they all have their own jobs too, where like Angus works at a video store, which I can't believe is still a thing, but it's in a little small town. Like,
I couldn't believe it was still a thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. May's constantly like that. The town's always like 2 generations behind or some shit like that.
Yeah. and B works at a hardware store that her dad owns, but her dad is she basically runs the whole thing, and she like not getting paid for it or recognized for that fact, but she's like picking up the slack for her father because her father's going through a lot, and he hasn't been the same because their mother died. And yeah, there's a lot going on, you know.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, it's very hard not to care about these characters. They have like a lot of problems, but they're all like very cool, you know. And it's great that the way that these things unfold, they're not just like told to you. You're just kind of brought into their world slowly, and it's really fun. Like the time where you have to go to B's apartment to help cook her dinner. I don't know if you guys did this part.
I did that one.
Yeah, I did.
Yeah, I just thought that was really, really cool because you get all this food and then you have to cook for her dad too, and like you can sense like the tension there, and that ends up blowing up into a fight between them. So
Yep. You learn a lot about them through those interactions, and the flow of the gameplay basically is you start off, you just got home, and then you go hang out with your friends, but then each day kind of you like pick who do I want to hang out with today, and you pick either basically Greg or B, and you hang out with one of those two, and you go do whatever activity, either like you just mentioned, you go to dinner at B's house, you pick out food at the supermarket or whatever. B, when you hang out with her, she's generally busy. There was, luckily for me in a way, I did my game crashed and I lost save progress on a couple of nights. So when I went back, I just played the opposite ones. So I got to see a bunch of them, which was kind of cool. So actually, it was a gift and a curse, right? Like I had to play through a bunch of stuff, but I just felt I'm going to pick the opposite ones that I didn't pick this time. Which was cool, because each night you get to choose, and they're different each night. So like B is always busy. Like there's a night where you have to she's like, I got an on-call job where I got to go fix somebody's furnace tonight. So if you want to hang out with me, you're gonna have to come with me, So, and same thing with the dinner thing. She's like, well, I got to cook dinner tonight. So if you want to come, you got to come to me with the grocery store. And then Greg's are always like, hey, want to go smash light bulbs in the woods, or want to go stab each other and stuff?
Yeah.
His are always just, go and cause trouble and stuff. And I think that's basically the core of the gameplay, which sounds weird.
You do have these little they're kind of like mini games where when you do band practice, it becomes like a Guitar Hero kind of game.
Yeah,
right.
Where you have to press the buttons at the right time and that.
But you don't have to win or anything.
It doesn't matter. You can literally press nothing at all. Yeah. It wouldn't matter.
But it was cool.
You get different dialogue.
It was pretty fun. Yeah. And then you also have, when your laptop gets fixed, you can play this, little dungeon game.
Demon Tower.
Completely option, yeah. Demon Tower. I got up to fucking level 9. Not level 9. Level 8. It was the one where you only have, almost one heart left. Because each level you go up, you lose, a 1 HP of, your max HP. Mm-hmm. So your health bar becomes less and less. And it was that giant fucking hooded rogue thief thing that teleports all over the place. I gave up there.
Yeah. It's a cool little game that
it is really fun. Yeah.
It's pretty good. I mean, it's very basic, but it's pretty good. Yeah, I ended up finishing that game, but I didn't get.
Oh, you actually.
Yeah, but there's actually a good ending and a bad ending. I got the bad ending because I didn't know.
Oh.
So yeah.
Well.
Oh, that's weird. That's interesting that they would do that in that little side mini game within the game.
Yeah, they actually tell you later on, if you beat the game and you talk to Angus at some point, he'll ask you if you got the good ending. I was like, fuck.
That's actually kind of cool.
I definitely didn't.
There's a lot of details in the game like that too.
Yeah.
I like when you first get your laptop and it's just covered in
full of
porn ads everywhere.
Yeah.
It's got a virus on it.
I love the ad. There's burly singles everywhere, tough angry singles or some shit like that.
Yes.
It's really good. But yeah, that's how. Oh, go ahead.
Yeah, no, like you were saying about picking between Greg and B. That's kind of the main thrust of May's whole, growth basically, because Greg represents, her, disaster, her fucking mischievous side, and B represents, the adulthood she's gonna have to contend with later on.
That's true. That's true. That's a good
Her,
point.
you know,
actually.
choosing between those two things is kind of, you know, the point of the game.
Yeah, and that's like how the game really plays out for a large majority of it is you doing that, and just kind of like experiencing, the just her life in a way, you know. And the biggest thing is that kind of drives the story forward is when you go home and go to bed at night, and you find out May's having these nightmares. And you kind of play through a nightmare situation each night. All it really is it's very simple. Like it's in like this weird kind of like limbo-looking-esque environments, like kind of in a city, and you just have to go kind of activate these like chimes that like a magician or not a magician, a musician will appear. And you have to get like all 4 of them, and once you do that, like a big creature comes out, and then you wake up, and you do that in between each night. And
well, it's not every night, but it's quite a few nights.
Yeah, not every single night, but yeah, she's having these nightmares, and she can't really make out what the hell's going on, right? And I gotta say though, during those parts, although those parts are they're okay. That's all you're doing is walking around activating these things. You don't even have to press a button, you just walk up to them and they start playing their instrument. But I love the music in those parts. I just thought the music was fucking fantastic. It was just really cool, and I loved hearing like the instruments get added one at a time and like the composition of it. I thought that was really it was good, really good. I was playing it with a headset on at one point, and I was like, I really like this music.
Yeah, I mean, the music throughout the whole game is really fantastic. Like, the song that plays in the parking lot of, something donkey, food donkey, I think it's called. Yeah, that song is, like, so good. It's fucking great. But, like you were saying about the dream sequences, like, I like the way they look, but I did not like playing them. Like,
yeah, they were kind of just
jumping shit.
All it was, yeah, it was just kind of boring, you know? Just because it was the same it would have been cool if they like came up with a different like thing for each stream, you know, especially since they are dreams. I feel like they could have got more wild with it, instead of being the same thing every time. So
yeah,
there was like you had the one dream where you like could smash the shit out of stuff, and that was it. It was only once. And like I thought they were gonna do that like more often, where like you would do different things. It was just one dream randomly where you had a baseball bat and you were smashing the fuck at everything, and that was like really. I was like, oh, this is fun, you know?
Yeah.
But then the rest of them were all just the boring part, you know?
Yeah, for the most part, yeah.
Yeah.
Some of them were like when you had to talk to that big cat god.
That was like the
good.
last real big one.
Yeah. And that I think that's like mostly indicative of the game. Like all the stuff you have to do in between, like the fun parts are kind of bland. Like all the walking around, like I got bored of it after a while. So it's like,
yeah,
I don't want to go to the same places over and over again.
That's the thing. Besides like the ending, which we'll talk about later in the spoiler part. But like that, I think was like my main criticism was like there was some parts of the game that were just kind of like downtime-ish and a little boring. You know?
Yeah.
There certainly were. Just like having to walk through the same part every single day, and you know you're just you're gonna go talk to B or you're gonna go talk to Greg, whichever one you want to do. But you have to walk there, and it's just the same thing. Like there's a couple things where like you can talk to this one girl who gives you a different poem every day, or
Selmers.
Yeah, Selmers, and there's the teacher on the roof who you can look at stars with like every other day, pretty much. But for the most part, it's
the mice.
Yeah, you
can feed the mice.
The rat. Yeah.
Yeah. You could there's a part where you go into the tramway and you go like on a ship, like a boat, and you have to go to like these trash islands. And you can pick up things.
I didn't do that.
And then whatever items you pick up, you didn't do that? Oh yeah. Well, you get to find you get to choose between 2 items every time you visit like a little mini island.
Yeah.
And then whatever items you choose, they appear in your room afterwards.
Yeah.
It's pretty cool.
And
neat.
also,
I didn't even do that.
When you talk to you could talk to like the pastor or Bruce or Lori, which is other pretty good characters that are around the town. And sometimes they'll like have a little segment with them, and also Germ. Yeah, they'll have like a little segment, like a story segment. It doesn't move the story along, but it's like some really cool filler.
Yeah, you get to just know more about these characters and stuff, and even a little bit more about May sometimes too.
Yeah.
We'll talk about how she was before. But it's still like there were parts where I was bored, here and there, where it was almost like I was waiting for like the hook or the swerve, and like something was gonna like happen, and that eventually kind of does happen. Near, I think it was like the end of chapter 2, I think it was.
Yeah, when you first see the cloaked guy. Yeah.
Yeah, so it was Halloween night, and you witness somebody being kidnapped, and that's where I was like, okay, all right, stuff's happening now, right? Like, but then it was just kind of like, she was kind of still having dreams and nightmares, and she tried to tell her friends, but they were kind of like, I don't know, you might be tripping. But that's where the story finally really picks up. But yeah, it was I felt like I was waiting for a long time for that to happen. Although it does a good job at world building, but I felt like it went on for maybe a little too long.
I think there's like kind of a slow burn here, because you're supposed to feel comfortable in the town, like you're supposed to feel safe, like because this is essentially May coming home to her safe space, her sanctuary. But like then you're figuring out that everything is not quite as nice as you initially thought. Like there's a lot of fucked up problems, like with the poverty, and then suddenly there's like this dark underbelly of the whole society. So yeah, I thought mostly it was very cool, but yeah, there were definitely a lot of slow parts.
Yeah, and it's hard to talk about like because like when we play like adventure games, we played adventure games, plenty of them here on the Game Club, and it's just like it's hard to talk about an adventure game without just like literally just talking about nothing but the story, because that's like all there is.
For the most part, yeah.
Yeah, because I know this game does have like little parts here and there, but like the game starts off on a weird note too, where like you find like a fucking arm. You find it literally a fucking man's arm on the ground, but then it just didn't really like go anywhere for a long time, and I'm just thinking, I'm like, I found a fucking dude's arm. Like, now I'm just like, hey, let's go to the mall. Like, well, I think like I should be a little bit more concerned about this. And the cops didn't seem the one cop at least, your aunt, didn't seem like super concerned about it either.
Yeah, I think the point of it is like it's slowly supposed to bring you into like this feeling of unease. Like not everything is as the way she remembered it, you know what I mean? Like it's not safe. So the fact that it doesn't just explode into, the plot at that point, I can kind of forgive, because it's still kind of building your familiarity with the town.
Yeah, but I just felt like it was they underplayed the if I found a dude's arm on the fucking ground outside a diner, I would be a little bit more concerned.
Yeah. Yeah.
But maybe they're different people, you know what I mean? Like they're like, hey, let's poke it with a stick, you know what I mean? So they're that's how they are,
I guess if you found someone's arm, would you like change your life on it?
I don't know if I'd change my life, but I'd probably be like, yo, there's this town going on.
Would you like search out the person, like, or would you just give it to the cops and move on with the rest of your day?
I mean, I would probably give it to the cops, but I just felt like the cops didn't really take it too serious.
Yeah. Well, I guess, yeah.
Also, well, yeah, I guess we'll go into like spoiler territory afterwards. I want to talk about.
Yeah, we'll go to spoilers later on. We'll have a separate part. I don't know when I'm gonna mention this, so I'm gonna mention it now before I forget. But this game though was critically received very well. A lot of people really liked this game, and I just want to say that it did win some awards. And for gaming, it won a Best Writing in a Comedy Award at the National Academy of Video Game Trade Reviews in 2018, and it won Most Fulfilling Community Funded Game at the XSXW Gaming Awards, and then it won the at the Independent Game Festival. It won basically the Game of the Year for the Seamus McNally Grand Prize. And interestingly enough, This was 2018. It was put up against Hollow Knight and Cuphead, and it won the award over both of those games.
What? Really?
I was a little surprised by that too. I was like, whoa. You know, like it had some stiff fucking competition. Also, like Into the Breach, Baba Is You, you know, so like some good games, some good indie games, and I was like, this game beat those games in that. So that's pretty crazy. Specifically, Hollow Knight and Cuphead. That was what really blew my mind. I mean, you know, props to this game. I guess it's a testament to the writing and the storytelling. You know, that people really hit home with a lot of people, and I think because the game touches on a lot of like subjects that people can really relate to, I think that's why people like it so much. Because it does deal with depression and you know, abuse and, you know, all the other things like we said, like just like problems that hit home, you know, dealing with how society is and like, you know, not being able to afford stuff with the parents and going through like financial struggles, and a lot of it probably hit home for a lot of people. So
Yeah.
I mean, it's very relatable. It's very human.
yeah, very human. Even though they're animals, they're cats and wolves, and Bee is a
part of the
lizard,
fun.
I think.
Yeah.
Bee
He
is
was like an alligator.
Yeah,
I
she's
think.
like an alligator.
Yeah.
Yeah, bears. One of the things that just I couldn't even get over was there's a cat running around the town, like a normal ass 4-legged motherfucking cat, just walking around the town, but you're a cat. Like in the world itself, it's just, I mean, like, the game probably, you know, it's just kind of like a joke, you know, it's kind of funny, but it's just like, what the fuck is this world? And there's birds, you know, there's birds flying around, but there's bird people, so it's very confusing.
Just sounds like a better world than our world. That's all.
I guess no humans to fuck everything up.
Exactly.
But yeah, but they're just as fucked up as we are, so.
They're better.
Are they? Are they though?
They're better.
Are they? I don't know. I'm not.
GREGG rules,
I'm not
okay?
shoplifting. I'm not. Okay, Greg does rule. Can't argue that. I do like that May has a notebook. It's very reminiscent of like Life is Strange, you know, with the notebook and things get filled in as you play through the game. I feel like that's like an adventure game trope kind of, but it is cool. I really like the little drawings that she makes.
Yeah, I think they're full of personality. Yeah.
Greg rules, okay? Every single time she draws about Greg. And I like that. Sometimes she adds to pages when certain things happen. Like she'll already have something written out and she'll just add to it later on.
Yeah.
I do want to know because I'm confused. So you guys played it on the Switch, right? Both of you?
No, I played it on Steam.
You played it on Steam. You played it on Switch. I played it on Xbox One, and I guess there's a full version of the game that I'm trying to think of what it was called. It was like Night in the Woods, like
The Longest Night or The Last Constellation, one of those.
No, the Weird Autumn Edition.
Oh yeah, that's
Which-
I think all versions were updated to that.
Are all versions that? Okay, because I know, like, I read that it, like, adds more stuff, and I'm like, what stuff did it add? You know, like,
Well,
I'm
if
not
you-
even sure.
If you go into the menu section, you go to extras. There's like two little, I guess DLC or The Longest Night is like the original version of the game, I guess. Like
Like a
I don't know
beta
how to
version?
explain this.
Or a prototype version?
It's sort of like a prototype version that they released. So it's not like the complete game, but it's like it has the same characters. I played like 5 minutes of it. You do like some constellation stuff. I don't know, but it's pretty cool. It's like a like a prototype.
It's interesting. So I didn't miss anything in the main version of the game. It wasn't like they added like more to the end or.
I don't think so.
No.
Okay. All right, well, at least we all played the same version. So, because, I mean, the ending of the game is definitely something I want to talk about, and don't know if you guys want to get into spoilers now. We can put a timestamp. We put a timestamp. I'll put it in the description. If you don't want to hear spoiler talk about the end of the game, which if you haven't played it, I highly recommend that you skip. Okay, so and if you have, let's talk about it. So end of the game. So basically, after everything happens, you see somebody get kidnapped. You're like, what the hell's going on, right? You obviously want to figure out what's going on. It seemed like May was convinced that she saw a ghost, and that a ghost was kidnapping them. And then you go on these kind of explorations to go try to find the ghost and lure it out. And eventually it leads you to a cult of people in like these like cloaks and hoods outside of the town in the woods, and you find them. I don't know if they're killing a dude. It's hard to really tell what's going on.
Well, there's like this giant hole which they think is a god.
Well, before that, when you first find them and they're like outside and there's like a guy like trapped under a rock or something.
Yeah, I think they're just freeing the dude, but they're
probably
about to
just
kill
freeing
him.
him. Yeah,
they're freeing him so they can kill him.
Something like that, because he fucked up. He's the one who left the arm that you found earlier.
Yeah. So you're like, what the hell's going on? And then they like chase you guys, and you run away, and May ends up like getting a concussion, almost like kind of falls and passes out, and
they shoot at her.
Up.
They shoot at her.
They do shoot at her.
She falls or something.
Yeah. So, but she's all of a sudden tripping after that. She's just like she's lost it, but she wants still trying to figure out what's going on. And you go back and you find out that they're stealing people from the town to sacrifice to some sort of god who will return the town to its or some monster or something that's going to return the town to its old glory days, and keep the town going and the economy and everything. So they
seem to suggest that it's actually working.
Yeah. And they sacrifice. You find out that like a kid in the past, Casey, who was friends with Greg and kind of also in the same situation as you guys. He's kind of a troublemaker, but they stole him and he had been missing. But you find out that we sacrificed him to the hole, and his sacrifice isn't in vain. And these people are obviously crazy. It's a cult.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, are they crazy? Or, I mean, not that what they're doing is right or anything, but it seems like it's working. So I don't know.
At least they're convinced, yeah.
Well, I mean, they say like the blizzard happened because, and the flooding happened because, but then like things got better when they did it. I don't know. It's very weird because like they don't really go into it that much. It's very nebulous.
And then. And you're at the point, she's brought Greg and B and Angus, they're all there with her. And then they kind of just allow you to leave, and they're like, don't tell anybody. Like, we'll kill you if you tell anybody, but you can leave. And at that point I was like, okay. It's weird that they're just letting us walk out of here,
Well, I mean, I agree, and I feel like the tension was cut when they tried to like initially like try to recruit you to become the new, cloaked guys.
Yeah, like to pass the torch.
Yeah, like I didn't understand why that was happening, but yeah.
I thought it was because they were just like all very old and they wanted to retire from it or something.
I get why it was happening
because they're like throughout the game you do get like these really old people trying to go around town, like try to fix things like with the jobs like we were talking about earlier. They had a lot of conversations with the pastor at the church. Like to not accept like bums into the city and like homeless people like Bruce.
Yeah, the council members.
Yeah, the council members, and they were all like old people, so they probably were the ones that were in the cult.
Well, I mean, you find them after the end of the
actually, yeah, it's a good point. Yeah. But that's what I originally assumed, that they were all old and they just were like at their life's end and they wanted to pass the torch on. But I guess I was wrong.
Do they actually reveal who the hell these people are? Because I don't think they do.
Nope.
And I think that was one of my biggest takeaways of disappointment from the ending of the game, was that you never really find out who the fuck any of these people are. Because like I was thinking, oh, we're gonna get like a twist of like it was me all along, Austin, like fucking Vince McMahon flipping his hood up. Like I thought it was gonna be some sort of twist, like it's a teacher or it's somebody in town that but you never find out, and I just was like waiting for that, and it never happened. And then to top that off, when they're like, oh yeah, we'll allow you guys to leave. So you go up this like you're in the mines, the old coal mines. They let you go up the old shaft elevator, but one of them like tries to kill May like last second as they try to leave, and they end up like kicking down the elevator, and the elevator crashes, and like rocks start tumbling down, and the cave caves in, and they're all supposedly trapped down there. And that's it. That's it. They're just okay. Hey, the cult's gone supposedly, but you don't know if they escaped or really anything, because then the game just kind of plays out where let's go back to our normal lives, and it's forget about everything that happened. And it just seemed like a very weird way to end the game.
Yeah. I mean,
I was a little. It felt anticlimactic to me.
Yeah, I definitely agree, but in a little bit of some respects, I would say like there's something to be said that like in real life you don't get like all the answers or something like that. Like maybe she just doesn't get all the answers. But yes, it is very unsatisfying that you like almost nothing is explained.
Yeah, like what is the monster? Like exactly why was May having these dreams?
Yeah.
They never really explained why May was having the dreams either. Yeah, that's very true.
Yeah,
it's like, and that was like a big part of the game.
Because I'm thinking, like, is May connected to the monster? Is she the monster? What's going on? Like, it just never. Like, I just felt let down by the end of the game. I just felt like it was going to come out to more.
Yeah, well, one of the theories, I was reading a little bit about it, and like one of the theories is that she has like this glimmer that one of the other cultists has, so she has like some kind of connection to that world, that kind of weird god stuff. Yeah, I don't know. It's not really explained in the game at all. So.
It's a game theory. Thanks, Matt Pat. Maybe has Matt Pat made a video of this game yet?
I have no idea.
But like, yeah, it's just I get some things are, sometimes some things are better left unexplained, but I just, in a game like this, I just felt like there was too much left unexplained. One thing here or there, it's fine.
There's very little closure in that respect.
Yeah. So that's the part of the game that let me down. I think the absolute most was the ending. And sometimes that happens. I guess, expectations were too high, and as Ills likes to say, don't have any expectations at all. But I feel like the game was building towards something, and then it the game itself gave me those expectations that something was going to happen, and then it never did, because the writing and the storytelling and everything else was really fucking good throughout. And then, even sometimes in a game where there's a twist, and I don't really like the twist that much, at least there was a twist. I didn't really feel like there ever was that twist, really. Like, yeah, there's the cult, but it didn't really get me,
I feel like the plot is definitely like secondary to the characters in this game. Like, the characters are amazing, the plot, it's just kind of there.
Yeah.
And then there were like the times where you had to, when you went on the ghost like hunting events, where you wanted to figure out what that figure was that you saw when I kidnapped the kid. It kind of felt like unrelated. Like when you went to the cemetery and you like dug up bodies and encountered them, that felt like kind of pointless because it never explained why the ghost was there or what it was doing. And then the same thing with the historical building. Like there was no reason.
I think the explanation is that these guys are keeping an eye on May because she's just kind of a troublemaker, and they know that she knows, something's up. But
and maybe they were planning on kidnapping her soon because maybe they thought she was something.
It's very possible. She's a lot like Casey, because they say Casey was going nowhere in his life, and they might think that May is going nowhere with her life.
Yeah, exactly. Maybe they were.
But then why did they ask to recruit them?
they found him out at that point, and it's like, oh, you found us out. You might as well join us, right?
Yeah, there's a lot, too many unanswered questions. Yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot in there. I mean, maybe I'd be cool if they either made like some sort of like, I don't know, comic or some sort of way to like expand the story and world that you could read up more about, and maybe a sequel to the game at some point. Who knows? You know, I don't know if they'll ever do that, but I think it was a pretty successful game, so I think it did well, and a lot of people gave it good reviews, and I don't know if it sold well, but I'm going to assume it probably did, you know? So maybe we will get a sequel eventually, but it is an indie studio too, so, you know,
yeah, and one of the creators died. He had a controversy. There was like this whole controversy. Yeah, you could read up into it. I don't want to get into it. But,
Right.
Fair enough. But yeah, I mean, that's at least all my thoughts on the end of the game. I don't know if you guys have anything else to say in terms of spoilers.
No, I mean, I mostly agree. I wish they would have kept up the suspense that was going on in the third chapter. Like, I really liked when the cultist guys showed up when you were hunting for ghosts and you guys had to run away. Like, I really liked those sections. Like,
yeah, it was kind of creepy.
Yeah. So, I just wish they kept it up. You know, especially in the cave scene, I felt like there was a really missed opportunity there. When they were just like, "Oh, you can go," but but on the other hand, like it's kind of realistic. Like, not, I don't want to say realistic. I want to say like they care about the town in some way, so like they wouldn't want to kill everyone. Sort of, you know. There's some nuance there, but it didn't play out that well.
Right. Okay. Well, that is it for spoilers. So it's gonna be I was thinking about it, it's gonna be hard to when we do put it on the list later, it's gonna be hard to like, because I'm gonna want to like say something about the end of the game, but I'll just keep it like as minimal, like without any detail.
Just say the end. Just say the end was
the end. So yeah, we'll talk about recommendations now, whether or not you recommend playing this game. We can start with you, Ills, because you picked it. So
absolutely, yeah. I have somebody in mind who I want to recommend it to, like right now.
Oh, nice.
Yes, definitely.
All right, perfect. Well, Noah?
Yeah, I recommend it. I mean, in terms of gameplay, it's really pretty much non-existent, but it's a fun story and the characters are really cool. You get attached to them very easily. It's even though the ending might not be satisfying to you, it's still pretty cool to go through.
Yeah, I mean, I'm a big fan of adventure games, as you guys know. So I did like this game. I enjoyed it, and I think it's got a lot going for it. And especially, I've seen it on sale quite a few times. So I mean, if this game goes on sale, definitely pick it up because it's definitely worth a playthrough. And with that being said, now it's time to add Night in the Woods to the list.
The list.
You can follow along with the list in the pastebin link in the description below. And every week on the Jump Up Supercast Game Club, we add the game that we played to the list. It's an ever-going list that we add to every single week on our regular episode, and we add every Game Club game too. So it just goes from best to worst, and we have to figure out after we played the game on the Game Club, where will we put it? So that's what we're gonna do now. And Ills, you picked the game, so we're gonna start with you and try to get an idea of where you think it should go on the list, and then we'll go from there.
God, fuck. Well, God, fuck it. I would put it above Indivisible. Yeah.
Where's Indivisible?
52.
Whoa.
That's pretty high, man.
That's very high.
It's very high. But these are like really, 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 really good characters.
So many better games underneath that, though.
Don't say Octopath.
Yeah, but like Ghost Trick?
I
You know.
Willing to hear a conversation about it.
Snatcher, Hotel Dusk, Ace Attorney,
Yeah, Hotel
Stardew,
Dusk.
Alundra. No.
I would put it.
Golden
I would put it,
Sun,
I would
Illusion
definitely
Gaia.
Fuck. I would
You say
definitely
you
put it
put
above.
you would put Hotel
Hotel
Dusk higher.
I would put it above Hotel Dusk.
You would put it above Hotel Dusk.
Yeah, and Snatcher.
And Snatcher. I don't know.
I would put it above The Missing. I would put it maybe
See,
The Missing, yeah, but...
I feel like I would put it above The Missing, but I don't know if
Yeah.
I'd put it above Snatcher or Hotel Dusk, or
you have a
Alundra.
problem there, don't you?
We got, that is what it is. But, yeah. Like,
52 though. That's. I still feel that's pretty too high.
I don't know if I'd put it above like even Silent Hill 2 or Grand Theft Auto 4.
Or Terranigma.
I would put it above Terranigma, easy. You know.
I feel like I would put it.
It's weird because like you said, like the characters and the build up and the world building is like really great. The writing's really good, but it just falls flat on everything else. Like there's barely any gameplay. Like the platform.
I'm not gonna. Yeah, I'm not. For me, at least, I'm not gonna really say that it doesn't have any gameplay because like it is an adventure game, So it's hard to like.
But it did have like a lot of boring parts, like you guys mentioned too. And again, we left with like a really bad cliffhanger.
Well, I mean.
Well, not cliffhanger, more like, dissatisfaction at the end.
Yeah, but I don't think it like ruined the game for me or anything. Like, it wasn't everything.
No,
I
not
hoped it would
ruin the
be,
game.
but,
I don't think
Not
that
ruined,
necessarily
but-
even what Noah's saying, but like in comparison with putting it on the list, you know.
Yeah.
No, yeah, I agree that the ending is a problem, but I would think like the boring bits, those were they weren't the best, but like every time I explored the town, there was a lot of new things to find. There was a lot of new conversations to be had and stuff like that. So even though like it wasn't super engaged, I was always looking forward to hearing what these people had to say. You know what I mean?
I do know what you mean.
Yeah,
but I still
Is that enough to
there's a lot of
go
really
over
good
like
games
all of those games? Yeah, that's the thing.
Well, like I said, I would definitely put it above The Missing.
I feel like I would put it above the Missing as well,
yeah.
but like I think that's like I might move the Missing
Missing's
down.
a little high.
Yeah. I mean that was on us, obviously, but
And I think I would put it above Mega Man 3, and I think I would put it above 999.
no, I wouldn't.
Yeah.
I wouldn't.
Valkyria
I wouldn't,
Chronicles.
personally.
Tales
Valkyria
of
Chronicles,
Walking
no.
Dead.
The Walking Dead, that's a conversation. I'm willing to have.
Yeah, see, The Walking
Oh,
Dead.
shit.
Yeah, I wouldn't put it above The Walking Dead either.
Yeah.
'Cause The Walking Dead had like one of the most satisfying, even though heart-wrenching endings in a game I might have ever played in my life.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so I would put it above The Missing.
Yeah.
I mean, like
That's better. Yeah, I'm more willing to put it there, but
Yeah.
I would also put it above Silent Hill 2, yes.
I don't know. If I'd put it above-
Silent Hill 2 was just a trip.
I don't know.
The dog ending isn't canon, Brandon. Come on. Let's be real.
You said it. You literally said it was.
You know I was joking, right? So.
No, I take everything you say serious. Okay.
Oh, well, there you go. That's
You
your-
said it. You said it was the.
That'll be your
ending of,
downfall.
like- Man, this is like this is one of the harder, I feel like, club games that I've had to rank in a while.
Yeah. It's because it's very different too. So it's like really hard to compare like all the the good ones with like the really
Yeah,
good
I mean,
games.
I feel like this is a thing that comes up with adventure games. Like, there's
Yeah.
always like some problems with the gameplay, and the story.
We usually have like
sometimes
little
was
groups
that-
though, like with the visual novels, we always like package them together.
They're starting to break up a little bit. We're in that group right now. We really are in that group. There's adventure games. I mean, all around it, like Walking Dead, Ghost Trick, Danganronpa, Snatcher,
Where the fuck
Hotel
is Danganronpa?
Dust, Phoenix Wright.
There it is. Yeah.
Like, I don't even know if I would put it above Danganronpa because of how crazy Danganronpa is with the
like
twist.
I feel like I found the threshold where I definitely wouldn't put below. Like I feel like 85 or 84 is like it shouldn't go any lower than that.
Yeah, absolutely not. Like I will say, like I think character wise, and writing interesting characters, Night in the Woods is better than Danganronpa, but I feel like Danganronpa was like a roller coaster of like actual like plot moving forward throughout the whole thing. Like you have like you have like the same situation where you can hang out with people in Danganronpa, but then it's like an optional thing where you can just like I don't really want to do that. I want to keep the story going, but I mean I still am like willing to put it above The Missing, but I also think I would, if I personally was going to put it anywhere, I would put it, like, below or above Alundra.
Where?
Below or above Alundra. But I'm also still willing to listen to, like...
You think Hotel Dusk is better?
Yeah.
I do.
I do as well, yeah.
Why?
I mean, I kind of like the characters more, and, like, the interactions. And Kyle was more, like, I like Kyle as a protagonist better. And just the general interactions with people was really good, and the animations like really brought out their expressions and their personality as well.
Yeah, I like the atmosphere and the overall story more in Hotel Dusk.
Well, the story was kind of nothing there. I mean, like it was kind of a mess when you played. I mean, like the mystery didn't make any sense. You remember this, right?
Yeah, I do. I do. But I think I was, I was a
lot more into it than it was with this game. But
yeah. I think I overall liked Hotel Dusk more as a game and an adventure game, as a story in an adventure game, And it was more like, it's weird. I guess like not more gameplay, but also yes. It's very odd.
I mean, it had puzzles for sure.
Yeah.
Like when you were locked in that room and you had to figure things out before the
not make noise before he comes back. Yeah.
Time ran out. But at the same, I feel like the world of Night in the Woods is so much richer than Hotel Dusk. Like all the side characters are way more like developed. Like the parents are so like they're so great. Like you just want to like be around them all the time. Like these characters, like they're so vibrant. You just want to talk to them.
But are they better?
Friends.
Are they better than Louis?
Yeah.
Damn it.
That's one character. Like,
I mean, Hotel Dusk only has like 6 characters in the whole game, and it does take place in just one spot. But
and I would say like the visuals are outside of the hand drawn, rotoscopic, whatever the fuck. Outside of that, like the hotel itself doesn't look that very good.
Well, to be fair, it's on a DS and it's trying to.
Yeah, but I mean, if we're comparing them, has to be said.
Still, there's too many games that it has to go above that I don't agree with.
Like what?
Like I said, like all the visual novels. Danganronpa, Hotel Dusk, Snatcher, Castle Crashers, Phoenix Wright, Stardew, Alundra,
I think it's better
Beautiful
than Snatcher
Joe.
too.
Yeah.
I think it's better than Snatcher too.
I would. There's 2 games in this group that I'm willing to put it above, and that's Kid Icarus and The Missing.
Yeah.
And Uncharted.
I put it on Uncharted. Yeah. I even put it above. Actually, I never played Steamworld Dig, so I can't say for that.
Steamworld Dig's very good.
Yeah. But everything else is just like that whole chunk is like 80% or 90% of those games I would not put it above it.
Where the fuck is Steamworld Dig?
Steamworld Dig is like
63.
63, yeah.
Oh.
Actually, that's above Jade Missing, so.
Yeah.
Yeah, so like right now it's either above the missing or somewhere below.
No More Heroes.
it.
I haven't played No More Heroes, so I can't say much about that game. But I definitely think it should go above Sonic All Stars Racing.
Absolutely, I would not put it below that game for sure. There's no way. But oh man, this is fucking hard.
All right, so let's put a pin in Alundra for a sec. Well, do we want to talk about Alundra again? All right, the puzzles are a little bit obtuse. That's my one problem with Alundra. It's frustrating because there are so many fucking puzzles and they're obtuse as fuck. And it's a long ass fucking game.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Hotel Dusk we talked about already. I'm of the opinion that the characters are way better than the ones in Hotel Dusk. And the same for Snatcher. Like the fucking game falls apart in the last, what is it, act? I guess.
That last act.
How
Yeah.
falls
Yeah.
apart? How?
Like it's just a fucking.
It's still
Just too
Monologue,
much.
really.
Yeah.
Very
It's a
silly,
monologue
but-
of shit.
Yeah.
It's Hideo Kojima syndrome.
It is. It absolutely is.
Castle Crashers, I would put it above. I think the gameplay of Castle Crashers is good, but the story is not even comparable. Beautiful Joe, I think it's better than Beautiful Joe. Kid Icarus, absolutely. Uncharted, Uncharted's hit or miss. Like it's alright. It's pretty good. It's a decent game, but I think the characters put it above that. Yeah, I don't know. I don't want to keep going like this. You gotta
Right.
at some point.
God, I feel like it should be above Alundra.
That's it.
That's what I feel. But like
What about Phoenix Wright?
I
think it should be above
definitely would
Phoenix
prefer
Wright.
Phoenix Wright over Night in the Woods.
Jesus Christ.
Sorry, man. I just really like the game. I
Yeah.
love Phoenix Wright.
All right, whatever you want.
I feel like it should.
I was gonna put it below Alundra, but
I think it should be above. I agree with Ills' points on Alundra 100%. I think it should be above Alundra.
all right.
Fucking damn. Snatcher, really? Come on.
It was a good buddy cop.
It's a good game, but I mean, it falls apart, and the characters are not way less developed than in this game.
You say that to Metal Gear.
I will.
Poor Metal Gear, he's crying right now.
He sacrificed himself.
He
Well,
did.
When he came back.
Well,
Tried
spoilers.
to. Yeah.
But he's a Sega CD now. It's like a Sega CD. All right. Okay. So 83.
Unfortunately, yeah.
Okay. Well, then if it gets put, that would put it below Stardew Valley, above Alundra, at number 83. Surrounding it, 80 Hotel Dusk, Room 215, Game Club game, by the way. 81 Phoenix Wright Ace Attorney. 82 Stardew Valley. 83 is now Night in the Woods. 84 is Alundra, and 85 is No More Heroes. So yeah, that was, one of the longest list segments we've had in a while on the Game Club. That was a hard one, honestly, to rank. But that is it for the list. But before we go, we got a couple of things I want to just talk about real quick. If you did enjoy the Jump Up Supercast Game Club, make sure you check us out on your favorite podcast listening service of your choice, including SoundCloud, iTunes, and YouTube, where new episodes of the Game Club will go up every other Thursday, as well as the normal Jump Up Supercast episodes every single Monday. Give us a follow, a like, or a share, and feel free to let us know what you thought about Night in the Woods if you played it in the comments below. Are you on Il's side? Do you think the game is better than all the games that we put it below? Maybe you do. Maybe say it in the comments. Make Ills tell us that we're a couple of fucking idiots, Support us if you enjoy what we do on Patreon. For $1 a month, you get the chance to choose one of our Game Club games every round. We're going to be talking about that in a minute. And you can also follow us on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram to stay up to date on everything Jump Up Supercast related. You can even catch us streaming from time to time on twitch.tv/Jump Up Supercast. And before we go, like I said, we do every round a Patreon pick, and this time we got picked Amnesia: The Dark Descent from one of our patrons. Leahy Giblets picked this game for us to play. So that's what we're going to be playing in 2 weeks when we're gonna come back and talk about that. That's going to be an interesting game to talk about, I think, too. I feel old saying this because I don't think it is, but I think it's considered a classic now.
Definitely makes me feel like I'm back in 2010.
It's a 10-year-old game. Now I feel old saying that 10-year-old game is a classic because I don't think 2010 was a long time ago in my head, but it was. Yeah, this is gonna be one to talk about. So join us in 2 weeks. We're gonna talk about Amnesia: The Dark Descent. Go out there, play some video games, and be nice.